The golden age of American passport privilege is waning, replaced by a new era where international travel and residency require more money, more planning, more documentation, and more patience. Americans who want to maintain their international mobility and residency options will need to adapt to this new reality. The era of spontaneous international travel for Americans like me is rapidly coming to an end, y'all. What we are witnessing now in 2025 is considered a global paradigm shift where the traditional privilege of visa free travel is being systematically replaced by digital surveillance systems, also advanced authorization requirements, and reciprocal restrictions. Listen, I had to put my glasses on today because I didn't want to miss any of the updates that I'm going to share with you about the changing landscape and what it means for American travelers and expats. Hey everyone, let me introduce myself first. If you're new here, I am Kim, aka Kim with the Gems, and on this channel we talk all things wellness, travel, and money, honey, from a cultural perspective, from a Black woman's point of view, to empower, right? To get us right, to get us so that we're staying ready so we don't have to get ready. And so I invite you to become part of the tribe, become part of the family. The Gem Nation family is what we call ourselves. And how you can do that is simply by hitting the subscribe button. Once you subscribe to this channel, you are then part of the family. You are then part of the Gem Nation. Now, there are other ways that you can also become part of the family, and all of those will be listed in the description below. Hit that like button because then this information gets out to more like-minded people. Turn on the notification bell so you never ever miss when I go live or when we do an update. And also share this information with someone you care about because it's necessary information that unfortunately many people are just not paying attention to. So every place from Europe to Brazil to Asian countries and more are requiring biometric entry exit systems. And also, I don't know if you've heard, but many places are just doing away with the digital passport stamps altogether. And we're going to go over country by country, not all of the countries, but some of the top countries that have made changes to their visa process. The US used to be number one when it came to visa-free travel to most countries. That is no longer the case. Similarly to how the US is placing excessive restrictions on other countries now, they are in turn doing similar. And that's why it's called reciprocal restrictions. But let's just talk more about what this means for Americans who are seeking residency abroad. The landscape has become significantly more challenging and expensive. It's going to get worse, y'all, but we're going to talk about that in a second. Mexico's doubled income requirements within the past few years. Panama has increased investment minimums and general trends towards higher financial thresholds, which are pricing out middle-class Americans who once saw international relocation as accessible options. If you missed yesterday's live with two beautiful expats, one in Panama, the other in Ecuador right now, go ahead and check that out. I will try to remember the place that somewhere up here so you have easy access. But Jackie shared how things changed so much from when she started the process of getting residency in Panama a year ago, and how quickly things changed, programs went away, things got more expensive. And so we want you to be ready, right? Be ready and take whatever action you need to take before more changes come. The digital nomad dream is also facing reality checks. Thailand does offer a new digital nomad visa. it requires substantial financial proof. And countries like Indonesia, where we, just find such solitude and peace, they're cracking down on tourists who overstay their visas while working remotely. This was not a thing a year ago. But in addition to the countries that I just listed, expat havens in Europe are also becoming harder to access for long-term stays. It's getting interesting, right? It's getting interesting now. But there are solutions. So you stay a little while longer. We'll talk about what some of those may look like. But the overall solution, right, is if you have any desire to travel to some of the places we're about to go over, act now, especially if you're looking to have extended stays, to stay any longer than the, traditional few days vacation. It's a transformation. There's a lot that comes along with that too, including and not limited to driving more data collection, right? Biometrics is here and it's not going anywhere. And, you know, some say, they refuse to do the biometrics. Well, if you refuse biometrics, that means you refuse to enter certain countries. And the one thing I will say, as someone who received her residency in Mexico 2022, biometrics was being done then too. If you are part of TSA global entry, you have already given biometric data. If you are part of the clear TSA system where you skip the line, you have given biometric data. So, let it not instill too much fear that we are going to stay afraid, stay fearful of venturing to other countries. Let's just go a little bit more into what this means for other countries. So there are security concerns driving biometric data collection, revenue generation through visa fees and application, and a global pushback against over-tourism and digital nomad exploitation of tourist visas. For Americans, this can and probably will mean higher costs, right? Averaging anywhere from $12 from $12 to $81 per destination just for the authorization, just to get the approval to enter. Now, that may not be a lot for some people, right? But if you think about it, it depends upon how many people are traveling with you, because these are costs per person, not per group, right? So if you have a family of 10 or a group of 10 that is traveling to, let's just say, Brazil, and we'll get more into Brazil in a second, that is $811 that we're talking just in visa fees. But there's also scrutiny because you're going to require more planning. You can't just now jump on a plane and say, I'm going to London. You can't just jump on a plane and go to some of these places that now require vetting before you get there. And sometimes those vetting procedures take days, if not weeks. And so, let's just stay ready. People are concerned about, like I said, some of the privacy as it relates to biometric data being stored in foreign databases. And it definitely is reducing flexibility. We like to be nimble, we like to be flexible, but these new changes are not allowing that to happen. So let's get into some of the countries that are being affected now or are planned to be affected in the near future. And the list is, the list is a lot longer than when I started talking about this just about a year ago. Let's talk about visas in Brazil. As of April of this year, an e-visa is required for tourist and business travelers, which means you have to pre-apply before you just get on a plane and go to Brazil. And as I mentioned, those costs are not cheap, especially if you're going or paying for a group of people. It's $80 per individual. And it's just under 81, I'll say. And a visa is something that allows you to be in the country legally, for those of you that don't know, for a certain amount of time. And that time is determined upon entry or pre-entry when you're approved for the visa. So, like I said, the application is just under $81. It's $80.90, and it's valid for 10 years, which is great if you plan to go back and forth. But if you're just looking for that one-time trip to Rio for Carnival, and you're going with your family or group of people, be ready to pony up $81 per person. You must apply in advance through an online portal. Yes, you do. And the processing time is not immediate. It could take several days before you get approval or declined. So it is best for you not to purchase a ticket until you are approved. And I mean airline ticket, but that's not it. That's not it. In addition to the visa fee of $81, you now also have to prove that you are financially solvent in their eyes by showing your bank statements. And the bank statements right now, I believe it's 2000 still. I don't think that has changed. We don't know what 2026 is going to look like. Next on the list is Mexico, my beloved Mexico. There has been lots of changes as it relates to Americans getting their visas since the time that I got my visa. And what are those changes? Well, right now, it's a higher income requirement for residency. Whereas, let's just talk year to year. Income requirements last year, monthly, was about $4,200 on average. This year, it's $4,400, with the expectation that it will increase next year. And so it's making it a lot more difficult for people who are looking to retire and or digital nomads to qualify. And again, this is an annual thing. This is year to year increases. So as we mentioned in yesterday's video about things are changing, do you have your plan B? We were serious. Like, now is the time, if you even are considering getting a residency any place else, especially the places I'm about to list, start the process now. Start it now. And if it means getting approved here in the US first, right, at the consulate, you can at least qualify for the lower amount, the 2025 requirement versus waiting until 2026. Let's get back to Mexico. There used to be a guarantee, and I mentioned this yesterday. There used to be a guarantee that you would get 180 days stamp as an American entered into the country. That is not a guarantee anymore. And there are many, many, many instances where people were expecting to get the 180-day visa stamp, whereas now it could be 7 days, it could be 14 days, it could be 30 days. It is truly at the discretion of the immigration officer when you enter the country. But the overall consensus is, do not assume that you would get the 180 days that they used to offer. Now let's continue. Let's go into let's go into Panama. Now, one of the areas of change in Panama, although some things are remaining the same, like as far as the amount of days you get to stay, right? If you are looking for residency as an investor, right, The minimum as of 2025, as of today, is 300,000 for real estate investments. And as Jackie mentioned yesterday, some of the programs are also, which were the easier programs, some of those programs have gone away. And as we talked about Mexico and Panama, if you are interested, please join us on October 25th at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for our Brunch and Learn workshop, which is simply entitled, If We Can Move Abroad Legally, You Can Too. And we're also going to have a segment where we're talking about how to counteract the rising cost of healthcare here in the US by looking at options abroad. So we're going to have an expert that brings sound recommendations, as she has just experienced that herself. So she'll have the most current information. But in addition, Jackie will share with you how she was able to relocate her entire family of 10, all legal residents now, to Panama without, being wealthy. Let's just say that, without the $300,000 investment. I will share the strategy I would use if I was applying for Mexican residency today to get approved before the end of 2025 and not have to face whatever financial increases that they impose. And those numbers have not been released yet. So my thing is, they're saying the expectation is 4,400, but based on geopolitical issues, that number can go up. We don't know. So please join us on October 25th, 10 a.m. You can go to bit.ly/have another plan to register. Again, you're going to get 4 experts. You're going to get consultations for the price of one. And the urgency in my voice, I hope, is enough to entice you to want to sign up. Now, let's get back into Asia and the Middle East. Right now, in Thailand, all visitors must complete what is called a TDAC, which is a new digital arrival card, within 3 days before arrival. This did not used to be the case. Now, they have added other alternatives for people who want to stay long term, like the digital Nomad visa, which is 5 years, and it allows you to stay up to 180 days guarantee, and you can extend it to 360 days. But it requires pretty much a robust financial approval. You have to have at least 500,000 baht, which is Thai baht. Some people say they didn't have to have it in a local Thai bank, but others said that whoever they worked with told them that they did. But again, just understand that these numbers are going up. And so if you're interested in Thailand, figure out a way to get moving before those numbers increase, because it's at the discretion of these countries to increase the numbers. Let's talk about Vietnam. Vietnam is another place where I see many of us thriving and living our best lives, right? Vietnam, you must do the e-visa approvals before entering, and you must obtain the visa before arrival. A lot of these places, you used to be able to get visas upon arrival. Now, nope. You have to get them before arrival, and you can no longer obtain the visa on arrival. So again, advanced planning. You can't just jump on a plane and say, I'm outie. No. Let's go into Japan. Japan also has a new e-visa system that was launched. Let's now go into Europe. There are 29 countries that have implemented change, and some of those changes are scheduled to take place starting October 12th. Now, it's been pushed back, but let's just go over the countries that are affected and what that means. Here's a list of the countries: Austria, Belgium, Croatia, Czech Republic, Denmark, Estonia, Finland, France, Germany, Greece, Hungary, Iceland, Italy, Latvia, Liechtenstein, Lithuania, Luxembourg, Malta, Netherlands, Norway, Poland, Portugal, Slovakia, Slovenia, Spain, Sweden, Switzerland, plus Monaco, San Marino, Vatican City. The changes that will be implemented starting October 12th and being phased in through the list that I just went through through April of 2026. It's called the Entry Exit System, the EES, which means your biometrics are required before entering the country. How will this negatively impact your trip? Well, there'll be longer wait times at the borders for facial imaging as well as fingerprinting. Your personal biometric data will be stored in the EU database for 3 years. There are potential privacy concerns. And again, increased processing times at entry and exit points. This will definitely bottleneck some airports. And moving on to the UK and England, Scotland, Wales, Northern Ireland, all included in the UK. They are now, as of January 8th, requiring electronic travel authorization, also known as an ETA. What that means, it simply means you have to get approved before you enter the country. It's inexpensive. It's it's approximately $12 US as of 2025. Now that may change, and it's good for 2 years. The other thing is they notify you when you're signing up, when you have to take a picture of yourself and all of that. So you're giving them access to your information via phone before your arrival. But they also let you know that although they say it could take, I believe, 2 to 3 days, it may also take longer, and they may also require an interview. So again, the advice is do not purchase a ticket to the UK without being approved first, unless it's a refundable ticket, right? Because you cannot get on the plane without it. And again, the other thing with this, if you are flying through UK to go someplace else. So if you're flying through any of those countries that I just listed to go to any place else in the world, you still are required to have this ETA filled out. So the US passport is not as strong as it once was, and the biometrics and the higher costs are here, and they ain't going nowhere. Oh, we got to laugh about it, right? Also expected in 2026. The date has not been confirmed yet. The countries that I went over in the top of this, the European Union, they are expecting to implement a ETIAS. Once again, these dates keep getting pushed back, but they're coming. So it's a European Travel Information and Authorization System. That's what ETIAS stands for. And it's a pre-travel authorization requirement. There's an application fee of about $8 US. And similar to the ESTA system, it must be approved before travel. Valid for 3 years, but requires renewal. and potential for denial without traditional visa appeal process. Background security checks, as of now, will be required. We talked about EES, which is just simply fingerprinting and facial recognition. Starting in 2026, they're upping the ante. So it goes from EES to ETIAS. Okay, let's talk about some of the African countries that we love to go to. Well, the good news is most of the African countries, there are no current restrictions for Americans, but certain countries have implemented enhanced approvals. One of those countries is South Africa. Now, the requirements, again, similar to what we talked about, it's called the Electronic Travel Authorization System. It's currently planned. It has not been implemented, but it will require pre-travel authorization similar to the UK ETIAS system. Right now, Americans can enjoy 90 days visa-free access, but that is changing. New systems will add application fees and processing times, but the details are still being finalized. Kenya is another country that has gone into the ETA system where Americans must obtain an ETA before traveling. There's an application fee, and visas can no longer be obtained on arrival in Kenya. So again, advanced planning. There's a processing time of anywhere from 3 to 7 days if everything goes smoothly, and the application must be completed ahead of time. If there are places that you are looking to move to or looking to travel to that we did not go over here because things are changing and they are changing swiftly. There are countries that are bucking this trend, as they call it. Dubai right now maintains visa-free access and is actually expanding visa options. The overall trajectory is clear. The golden age of American passport privilege is waning, replaced by a new era where international travel and residency require more money, more planning, more documentation, and more patience. Americans who want to maintain their international mobility and residency options will need to adapt to this new reality, potentially considering citizenship by investment programs, authentic employment-based visas, or accepting the higher costs and administrative burdens that come with the new global travel ecosystem. Listen, y'all, I could say it one more time. There's a reason why we are putting this brunch and learn together now. We know that many people have in the back of their heads, oh, I'll wait till next year. Oh, you know what? All my ducks aren't in a row. Oh, right? It's so many excuses, but we want you to at least have all of the information that could help you make the best decision. Because just because you're not ready to move, or you may never be ready to move, you want to take advantage of the opportunities that exist while they still exist, and while they exist at probably the lowest price they will ever be, right? And so the urgency of this brunch and learn workshop is not a game. It is not a game. Definitely check out the description for more information. Again, you can find more information at bit.ly/have another plan. And until October 11th, there's a $50 off discount code if you use early bird 50. After October 11th, it will be full price. And again, still a bargain, because we'll have 4 experts coming to you with real strategy, solution, and their time, where you're able to ask questions, real questions, and get real answers versus doing all the research on your own and then having no one live to ask. We'll also have a breakout session, and you will also get the replays. all for the low price that you will see on the website. And so again, well, I could tell you right now, if you use the early bird discount to save $50, the total cost for 4 experts is $247. After October 11th, that goes up to $297, but still a bargain to have 4 experts giving you 3 hours of their time, and not just, you know, showing you what to do, but answering any and all relevant questions, and then having a breakout session based on the areas that you're interested in, where you can dig even deeper. And the replays, dare I say the replays. So if you can't make it live, you'll have access to the replays. And so again, we look forward to you joining us at the Brunch and Learn workshop on October 25th, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, where Jackie, just Journey, LJ, and I will talk about residency and moving abroad. Andrea will talk about medical tourism and quality healthcare abroad. We have to stay ready, y'all. We have to stay ready because things are changing, and it's not me saying it, it is facts. And no matter what you feel about what's going on, it's not going to change the facts. So, like I said, stay ready so you don't have to get ready. And it's better to have and not need than to need and not have. And we need to remember that. So once again, I ask you to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, check out all the information in the description. Share this with a friend, have a brunch with your family, and let's all try to get as many people as we can on the same page, even if they are not ready to move. Understanding what their options are now may inspire someone to act, just so that they're prepared should they have to make a move. And so I thank you for tuning in. Again, my name is Kim, aka Kim with the Gems, and I will see you on the next live. Go ahead, hit that like button and turn on notification so you don't miss it. Take care. Have a good day, y'all.